Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about finally block. So the finally block always executes, even if an exception occurs. Here is an example. First, I illustrate my explanation in an example, then I say why we need to use finally blocks. Here is a try and except block, and in the end, we are having the finally blocks. For example, in the try block, we would like to make sure that we are opening a file and we are, for example, reading the data. And then if there was any problem, we're going to throw an exception, and this exception is caught by the except block and saying that file not found. For example, if the file is not accessible, we are going to show this message in the output. And then using the finally block, we are making sure that we are closing that file. Okay, so even if the error occurs, the finally block ensures that this file is closed and this part of the code is executed, preventing resource leaks. Okay, so even if there is a problem, we are going to make sure that this part of the code is executed. So when, for example, when there is a problem here, okay, the compiler is going to stop there and throw an exception. It's not going to continue implementing the code. So it is going to throw an exception and show this message in the output. However, anything that is inside the finally block is going to be executed. Therefore, here we are making sure that in any case, if we are having an exception or not, we are going to make sure that we are going to close this file. Therefore, we are preventing resource leaks. So no matter what happened in the program, the finally block is going to be always executed. So it is useful because it ensures that certain cleanup code runs no matter what happens in the try or except blocks. And it executes even an exception occurs, even if an exception occurs, or if there is a return break continue statement inside the try or except blocks. So we now understand that whatever is going to happen, we are assured that the finally block is going to be implemented and executed. And some usefulness of finally block is resource cleanup, for example, closing files, database connections, or network sockets. Or we are making sure releasing locks. So we are ensuring locks are always released after an operation. And logging and debugging, guaranteeing logs are written even if an error occurs. Okay, so if we want to have certain messages to being printed in the output for you, you need to put it in the final blocks because we are making sure that whatever is there, it is being executed. And the fourth usefulness is ensuring critical code runs. Any operation that must execute regardless of exceptions, we need to put it in the final block. So let me illustrate it with an example here. So now I uncomment this part. Here I'm trying to print the output of 10 divided by 0, and as we know, it is going to throw an exception. And this exception is caught by an error occurred. Okay. Here, when I run this code, we see that an error occurred. This part is being printed in the output, but also we see that this message, which is for the final block, is being executed. This will always execute. Okay. For example, the program has reached to an end. Okay, for example, we want to show this message. Or if you're having some debugging logs there, you want them to be printed out in any case, even if we are having an exception, you need to put it in the block, in the finally block. And even if we are having no exceptions here, for example, print 10 divided by 5, it will throw no exceptions. Okay, so it is going to show us the output. So when I run this code, it prints the output, number 2, which is the output of this part, and this part is not executed because there is no error. However, we see that the program has reached to an end message is being printed out in the output. So finally block is going to be always executed no matter what. This is very important because we can use it for debugging, for closing the files, making sure that we are having no leaks of the resources. Thank you for watching.